This is a postcard image of Lawren Harris's much loved painting of mountains near Jasper. It's the inspiration for this little pop-up card, which is foothills, mountains, clouds, and sky. I'll walk you through that step by step so you can create a structure like this. We'll do 4 separate picture planes and we'll assemble them one in front of the other so that the finished product looks a little bit three-dimensional. I've already got my card cut. It's pretty small because I'm working with what I have at home, much like you are. I'm going to score a line in this card. That just means I'm pressing a line into that card. I'm using a tapestry needle to do that because that's my favorite scoring tool. It's pointy but not sharp. You could also use a knitting needle or a golf tee or an embossing tool. By scoring a line, we encourage that paper to fold exactly where that little channel is in the paper. So you can see that the paper will want to fold where I've scored that line. Our next step is to create the little pop-up shelf that the cloud picture plane will be attached to. This part is really important. From the folded edge of that card, we're going to cut 2 cuts, about 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch long, and they're about 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch apart. To create that pop-up, I put my hand behind the card and I push against that little cut portion. This is easier if you lay it on a surface. I'm pushing that little shelf forward with this hand and I'm catching it with the fingers of the other hand and pulling it forward while I push the card shut. And I press that fold and now I have a little pop-up shelf there. The first picture plane that we want to do is the sky, and that will go right on the back of the card. So at this point you could use pencil crayon or marker or crayon or collage, whatever you have to create your sky. The sky in the sample was collaged with a piece of blue scrap that I have in my collage supplies that just looked a lot like sky to me. I'm also going to mark an X on the front of that little pop-out shelf because that indicates where we'll glue our clouds. So let's put a little sticky note right here to remind us that this is the sky. And now I'm going to prepare the clouds. Can you see in the sample that the clouds are shorter than the sky? So you'll prepare another piece of card that's exactly as wide as the card you've already got, and you'll draw clouds on it that will be shorter than your sky and cut the shape of the clouds out. Notice that the bottom of this cloud picture is straight and square. Again, you'll apply whatever color you like for your clouds. The clouds in the example are pencil crayon on a scrap of cardstock. I'm going to apply the glue to the X that I marked on the front of that little pop-out shelf. Try not to get glue anywhere but on the front of that little pop-out shelf because you don't want things sticking together that you don't want sticking together. And to attach the clouds, this part is really important. Have your card in this position so that that shelf is standing out like that. Set your cloud picture so it's sitting on the base of your card and leaning on the X. And then press it into place with your fingers. So your cloud picture should be exactly sitting on the base of your card and stuck to that little shelf. This part you just kind of need to hold with your fingers for a moment or two so that glue really sticks securely. And the next step will be the mountains. So notice that the mountains are shorter than the clouds. Again, you'll cut another piece of card that's exactly the same width as your card. The bottom of the mountain picture will be straight and square. The top will be cut into the shape of the mountains that you make. I've scored a line in these mountains already, about a 1/2 inch or 1 centimeter from the bottom, because I'm going to put a fold in there after there's color on there when it's ready to stick onto my card. So you at this point could go ahead and add your color. Pencil, crayon, marker, collage, and then you'll fold it along that scored line, and I'll explain why. The mountains in the example are cut from a facial tissue box that already had those patterns and designs in it, so I didn't add any color at all. I'm going to mark some X's along the bottom of the mountain picture so that you can tell where I'm putting the glue. So this is going to go on the card this way. I'll open that up. Sometimes I like to use a scrap of paper underneath where I'm gluing so that I don't get glue on my cutting board or on my art or something. I'm going to put glue all along that little flap where I've put the X's. And then I decide where I want my mountains in front of my clouds, and I set my mountains on the base and I press. Again, you can just press with your fingers and hold tight till the glue really sticks. If you're using a heavier cardstock, like I was in this one, you might need to use something like clothespins to clamp it in place for a little while it dries, so it sticks really well. Let's put our mountains sticky on there. And then we'll do the foothills. And the foothills are shorter again than the mountains, as you can see in the example. And I've scored a line about 1 centimeter or 1/2 inch from the bottom of the foothills. You'll put your color on your foothills. You'll fold that line where you scored, if you score. Now, I just want to show you what I did on the sample. I folded the bottom of my foothills forward because I like the way that the color of the foothills is on the flat part of the card base. You could fold yours forward or backward, but you'll have to be careful to put your glue where it really belongs. So I want mine to stand up like this. So I'm going to put the glue here. I think I'll remove these clothespins, and I'll remove my gluing sheet, and then I'll position my foothills at the front of the card. I'll put my foothills sticky note on my foothills, and that's how we make a structure like this. And voila, you're done.